Herkese merhaba arkadaşlar, kanalıma hoş geldiniz. Yeni bir Sherlock Holmes Chapter One videosuyla tekrardan karşınızdayım. Arkadaşlar, destekleriniz için kanala abone olmayı ve videoyu beğenmeyi unutmayalım. Şimdiden iyi seyirler. Nerede kalmıştık o? Deli bir ressam vardı, onun sergisi. Bakalım kervansaray burada mı dediğine göre aynen. Aynen.
Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other. Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific. I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized. I have no clue how it was possible.
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. It's always shut, and I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
Olayları anlat.
What about this intrusion? What happened?
Last night, I was about to leave the gallery when I heard a noise downstairs. I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance?
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
Lorin koruyucu Odilon Redon. Sarı ise Paul Gauguin. İntihar kurbanının mezarı Wilhelm Kotarbinski. Papa Formosus ve 4. Stephen Jean Paul Lawrence.
I wish I could show you the gallery under different circumstances, but life is beautiful in its unpredictability, isn't it?
Aha, kendin geziyorsun ha. Arkadan Pollington. Tövbe estağfurullah. Çimlerde öğle yemeği. Koruyucu Odilon Redon. Aşk acısı Edward Munch. Sarıysa Paul Gauguin. İntihar kurbanının mezarı. Papa Formosus ve 4. Jean Paul Lawrence. Nerede öğle yemeği?
You sure you don't like art, Sherry?
Dünyanın kökeni Gustav.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry?
Life Gustavo Moreau.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry?
Aşağıda bir şey var herhalde ha.
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
Bu ne lan?
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's
Gelin
gonna
lan.
have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
O su nereden geliyor? Balıktan damlıyor herhalde ha. Franco odası.
Old and hasn't been used for a long time.
...74 santim, 60 santim.
The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame.
Vay anasını, adamın topal olduğunu çıkar diyor buradan.
A true artist never shows an unfinished piece. A true artist never shows an unfinished piece. Closed with a metal bolt. Footprints. Size 9.5.
Bu ne lan?
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. Sodden and mold-ridden. One presumes deliberately.
Burada ne var ya?
A Malpal butt.
Malpol sigarası, bu neymiş ya?
Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache.
Buraya basalım.
Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing. The parasites of creativity. Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Saturn devouring his sun. A grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
O zaman böyle. Ah,
The
oldu
intruder
lan.
entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a
Vallahi
magnet to
oldu.
open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft.
Nasıl buldum be? Vallahi buldum.
The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Dozens of priceless works amassed simply for the sake of it and presented without care. It's not about the art, it's about excess, yes?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate.
Ne konuştular be?
Mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My, your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
Kanıt toplandı. Ne yapacağız? Eskişehir'e o adam bulmaya mı gideceğiz şimdi? Hop.
Stop the presses. Who is Cordona's handsome stranger? Or Nosebaggerspun's local life? Wait, no. Foppish foreigner hides dark past.
Abla ne diyor lan böyle?
Oh, you've made quite the impression already, Mr. Holmes. You care to tell your side of the story?
I'm quite certain I have no idea as to what you refer, and I am further certain I have no interest in indulging your gossip.
Gossip? The truth will come out, but will only be heard if told well. Scandal, daring-do, romance. These are the tools of every good journalist. Nothing travels faster or lasts longer than a great story. Young man, your tale will be told with or without you. My readers demand it.
You already knew my name and seem aware of my doings here in Cordona. I presume this newspaper is your little endeavor?
Yasmin Sertel, editor-in-chief of the Cordona Chronicle, advocate of the free press, voice of the people, scourge of the silk stocking.
Charmed, I'm sure. As an advocate of the free press, I trust you'll permit me to consult your archives? There are gaps in my knowledge of Cordona.
Oh, so my work does have merit. Well, I think we can strike a bargain. I shall provide you access, and you let me keep writing about your exploits.
So be it.
Brooding bachelor builds bridges. Now that's character development.
I guess I owe you my gratitude.
What can I say? I've always enjoyed working with the Holmes. They whisper such interesting things.
Ne yapacağız? VOGEL sana ama tam yerini bilmiyorlarmış. Ne yapacağız? Arşivden olay çıkaracağız herhalde. İnsanlar, ünlüler, kesim, manşet, mahalle, Eskişehir, ara. Ha. Tipe bak lan, bu ne böyle? Geçtiğimiz hafta bizi sanatçıların Gözde sosyetesiyle ilgili yeni bir skandalla karşı karşıya bıraktı. Her şey yerel sanatçılardan gözden düşmüşün dansı olarak bilinen bir sanatçının tablolarının satışında başladı. Yayınevi yöneticisi Aslan Daron, Tervik gözden düşmüş sanatçı Bonifacio Mercurio'ya bir sandalye fırlatarak otelindeki huzuru bozdu. Bay Tervik'in daha sonra söylediğine göre bunu Bay Mercurio onun namusuna göz diktiği için makale yazarı okuyunca Bay Mercurio'nun kısa süre önce Bayan Tervik ile bir kahvecide gördüğü hatırlatır. Vay anasını. Yapmış. Sonrasında orkestra lideri Kurt Gallagher arkadaşı Mercurio'yu korumak amacıyla Bay Tervik'in kafasında bir tabloyu parçalamış. Büyük bir kavga başlamış ve buna müşteriler de dahil olmuş. Uzun süren kavga sonrası polis olay yerine gelmiş. Sosyetenin bütün kavgacıları gözaltına alınmış ve bir hafta boyunca polis gözetimine konulmuş. Bu ne kadar da sıra dışı bir olaymış. Sizin sadık kişisel danışmanınız olarak bu gözden düşmüş sanatçıdan bir hatıra almanızı öneririm. Boniface Mercurio okuyucularımızı evine ziyaret etmeye ve resimlerinden birini satın almaya davet ediyor. Onu Eskişehir'de Scarlet Sokak ile Zeytin Sokak arasında Hermes Bulvar adresinde bulabilirsiniz. Scarlet Sokak ile Zeytin Sokak arasındaki Scarlet Zeytin Hermes Scarlet Hermes
Mr. Holmes, I have something for you.
Neymiş?
Mr. Holmes, I see what you're up to. Mysterious stranger pursues betrothed woman. But please, let us keep things professional. I have in my possession an envelope containing details of a special assignment for you. Tell me, are you interested?
I believe I am, but to be very clear, Miss Sertle, my interest extends to the message and not the messenger.
So he claims he's not a gal sneaker, seducing women everywhere he goes. Perhaps the truth is even more scandalous?
Please spare me the speculation and return to the matter at hand.
A gang of smugglers, the Eels, have Codona in their clammy grip. The British Empire can abide it no longer. Mycroft insists they be disbanded. But this organization only falls with the capture of their odious leader, Friedrich Panzer. And note well, I did say capture, not kill. Inside your envelope is a map marked with the Eels' warehouses. But alas, we do not know in which Friedrich Panzer resides.
So even Mycroft has his limits.
Indeed. You must be sure to identify the correct warehouse before entering. Because once one is compromised, the other's occupants will scatter. Here are all the files, and feel free to use the archive too. Again, do not enter the wrong location, nor see any harm done to Friedrich Panzer.
Miss Sertle, if you're quite done with the redundant instructions, I shall get to work.
Well, that's perfect. Tortured hero lashes out after rejected romance. Tomorrow's edition will be a sensation.
Tamam, şimdi buraya geldik. Hermes Bulvarı. Yo. Öyle mi? Hermes Bulvarı ha? Aynen. Zeytin Sokak mıydı? Bu ne lan?
Adam öldü amına koyayım.
Baga girmiş dayı. Boniface Mercurio malikanesi bura herhalde.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, ma'am. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police.
Bizde Androp
No visitors allowed. No visitors allowed.
Bizde kafayı yemiş ya. Şimdi ne diyor? Sanatçının evindeki ev sahibi Ziyaretçilere girişin kapalı olduğunu söyledi. Sanırım bu hem sanatçı kadar bronzlaşmış ve dağınık değilim. Demek ki adama benzeyeceğiz. Ne yapacağız? Giyim. Adama benzemeye çalışacağız herhalde.
May
Where
I
is Emma?
ask you something?
I rather bite a snake than talk to you.
Vay yavşak oğlu yavşak. Laflara bak.
Don't miss out on the best
unique
carpets
cloak.
on the
Let's
island.
pick something that suits you.
Ne yapacak? O adamın şekil bu. Yaka bağır açık olacak. Tamam. Ha böyle. Sanatçı tüyü.
Be
Tamam.
careful with what you've taken.
Sanatçıya benzedik bakalım. Tezleme yutturabilirsek geçeriz. Tam bir çekilin de. Bura mıydı? Ha bura.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah, old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
Ablamın gözleri
How are
gitmiş
you,
vallahi
Mum?
iyice.
I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake, how many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes. Do you know what makes a lady happy? Paid rent.
Bura mı? Heh. Abinin oda mahvolmuş ya. Onu çoktan öldürmüşler.
Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here. The chest has been searched. Red skin, tails on the back. Reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting.
Aynen öyle.
I wonder where he got that fancy camera. It appears the wine was truly awful. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife. A normal kitchen knife. Could be the murder weapon. Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon? The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called expressionism.
Zihin canlandırmasını yaptıktan sonra oyunu bizim eleman burada fotoğraf şey yapıyor. Orada mevzuyu duyuyor ki dışarı çıkıyor. Sonra fotoğraf incelerken burada birisinin bu resimleri karıştırdığını duyuyor. Sonra burada kafaya çat diye bir arbede, oradaki şarap şişesiyle vurduktan sonra olan kavga buraya geliyor. Tabloyu kafaya vuracak. Yok lan. Bu böyle.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Böyle bir arbede o zaman.
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in.
Tuttu.
Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him.
Bu olayı da çizdiğimize göre çıkabiliriz.
Do you know what makes a lady happy? Paid rent.
Arkadaşlar bir videomuzun daha sonuna geldik. Bir sonraki videoda görüşmek üzere. Kendinize